Hi there! Today we're going to talk about Outreach.io, which is probably a topic that has been discussed very many times already since Reply exists, and that's going to be probably a repetition of some things that you already know. But anyhow, I wanted to present my view on the matter and things that I liked most about Outreach. I'm a big fan of context, and this is the first thing that really caught my mind and caught my eye. When I opened the task of this gentleman here, I immediately saw the Crunchbit company news. I could see the activity, mail, sequences, opportunities related to him, everything. And I find it extremely cool and just very handy, because if you're gonna, for instance, write a manual email to him, you can right away talk about something that has happened, like whatever, GoGuardian CEO on persistence, rejection, and scaling. Yeah, you can start like, oh yeah, I really like that article about persistence in business. It's important, blah blah blah. Great conversation starter. So I found it very cool that they give you some insights on the company that you're trying to prospect. And as well, they show the Twitter post, which is also context, which is also the same thing. You can fall back, you can rely on the information they post in their social media, like Twitter, in order to start a conversation that is already going to be much warmer than the general hi first name. This is something I didn't really understand, this UI decision, and I found it very inconvenient and annoying, that much annoying that I decided to talk about it in this video. But I could not really see all the company details here. I had to use this toolbar thingy slider in order to see all the information, but I had a full big map of where their office is located, and I don't think this is really such a priority in email outreach, or just in general outreach. Yeah, like it's not like I'm on the way to see them, then the big map would be useful. Here I found it inconvenient, and this map could have been smaller, or by default company details should have been bigger, and then if you really want to see where they're located, you enlarge the map. Because this experience was, well, I didn't understand what's the point of it, and I found it inconvenient. Then another thing that I really liked about their product is that they have in the prospect profile they have education section, and I think this is very cool, because once again it's an opportunity to talk to your prospects on some grounds that maybe you have in common, like maybe your degree is similar like mine, or we graduated the same year, or maybe you went to the same university. This is a very typical but still cool method of getting people on your side, and of getting people to talk to you, showing that you know something about them and you can relate to them in some way. Also, I have noticed it before with our other competitors, and I have talked about it before, but I really like the live feed. It's like whenever you're doing something, you have an up-to-date information of what's going on, if someone's opening your mail, someone is responding, clicking. And there has been research that if you're gonna reply to somebody's interest sooner, there's more chance that they're gonna continue replying, and then then the deal will be closed more likely than if you take, for instance, 3 days to reply to their interest, and then maybe that interest is gone already. So I find this a useful invention here. Yeah, and another thing that I really liked is that you can, like, there is an action button, and wherever you are, you can just create a user, a prospect, a template, anything. And I found it very cool, because it's only in the ideal world we go from one tab to another, and we just slowly go about our day, and first we create prospects, and then we create sequences, and then we create templates and all. No, you can just think about someone and you want to quickly create them while you're checking your reports, or for instance you just had a very good thought and you want to put it in a snippet, like very catchy answer, or you see in this newsfeed we've seen before, you see there's some actions going on and you want to put in a task right away for this contact. So this is very cool that you can just do it right away here and you don't have to go between tabs. Another thing that I found a cool idea for custom variables is for the variables, it's a custom variables for sender. So right now we can have custom variables for for prospects, for contacts. But here it's very cool that you can actually identify yourself and you can find all the things that you wanna say, for yourself, like as a sender. So I found it a very good idea to be able to use more custom variables that can be used for the sender themselves. Yeah, another idea that I liked is that they have an option like a LinkedIn task to interact with posts, and I think it's very good flow. Like you visit somebody's page, we have that. Then you interact with their post. Then you, for instance, send them a request, and then you send them a message. So this is a very logical and smooth experience and smooth way of warming up a lead. So I think maybe we should steal it even. It makes a lot of sense to me, this task. And the thing I guess I liked most about the outreach itself, like if I had to say one thing that I like most, is their filtering options, because they're really great. Like here, the experience is very smooth. Like you can just add up filters, and you get to write down things, so you don't have to, like in our case, we have to scroll a lot, and here you can just start typing and right away it's filtered. So their filtering angle is very, very sharp and very nice. I really like it. Yeah, and here something that as an idea I like, as a realization here I don't like it. It's this calendar and meeting scheduling. They have it and there's an ability to book a meeting and it's all good, but I noticed that it doesn't really sync with the Google Calendar or any other calendar. At least I was not able to find, let's say, a way to do so. So I think this is something they're missing, because it's not only the calendar you have to use in your business meetings or in your, outreach purposes. There could be a call like in between the company or something like this. So it'd be cool to see if you have some time slots blocked for your internal calls and your internal communication, not just external with your customers. Another thing that I liked is the ability to set priority for tasks. I think this is very cool, especially like when you when we will have this account-based selling, and then we will have this more more focus on particular groups, and then for instance a team is working on one account, and then of course the tasks concerning them was going to be in priority. So this is again a very good idea worth implementing. And also I liked their tasks flow. I also liked you have an ability to reassign the tasks, to assign tasks to someone else, and I find it very cool, especially like when we're gonna work with bigger companies or with agencies and all. And of course there it has to have more flexibility, like you started working with this account now, okay, then I'm going to reassign this task to you, even though it was generated for me, but now it's actually makes more sense than you do it, and then you take care of it. So find it a very good idea. And filtering for tasks, this is something that was asked when I was still working in support, like to be able to filter out by sequence, maybe by account, and by priority. I think this is also worth implementing, because now we can only filter out in extension, if to say, by the type of task, like for instance call or to-do tasks, but sometimes it's necessary for bigger companies to also see like the priority or what account they belong to. And I had, what I didn't like is that I had a weird experience with their LinkedIn. With carrying out of the task. So I was trying to like Oleg's posts. So that was the task I made, interact with post. And I was trying to complete it, but it see here like LinkedIn refused to connect. It wouldn't let me do that in general LinkedIn UI. So that was making me get the LinkedIn Sales Navigator. And we have Sales Navigator, so I went into our 1Password and I was trying to connect that, but then it didn't work either. So, well, maybe I just didn't figure out how to go about that, or it doesn't really work properly, but I was not able to actually carry out the task from Outreach itself. Another thing that I like, and I'm sure Ola Zamyatina will also appreciate, is that they detect and show bounce reasons, which is a very good idea, because the first question all customers ever had when they have bounce is why? Why did it bounce? And that's the first question. And the second question they had, how can I improve it? How can I work on it? Yeah. And of course, if there are things like mailbox full or connection error, then you know, okay, just bad luck. Yeah, I cannot do anything about it. But if it's flagged in spam or manually marked as bounce, things like this, then you wanna think what's going on and how to improve it, or rejected by inbox. Also, that means that you need to take some action. So I think it would be a very good idea to be able to detect bounce reasons as well. And I think it shouldn't be that hard, because generally in the header there is a reason for bounce in the reply, like from mail tools or whatever. They usually state why the email bounced, so I guess it wouldn't be that difficult to grab it from this email. Yeah, and as I said, filters are my favorite part of the whole Outreach experience. And here I find it also cool that you can sort the calls by the duration. And I think this is a cool idea, because of course if it's, for instance, over 30 seconds, then you might understand that a prospect is somewhat interested. Yeah, maybe if it's over 10 minutes, then there's some hard talk was going on, and probably that person invested 10 minutes, which isn't little. It might seem little, but it isn't for an outreach call. Then you know that, okay, this person really is interested. So I think this is a good idea, to be able to filter calls by duration. This is also one I really liked. So in the sequence you have step and a task. Yeah, so I created a task step, and then you can see how many of these tasks are completed. And I would also add it like how many are generated, versus how many are completed. Would be very cool to actually keep track and see. Yeah, okay, so I have 100 tasks generated and 0 completed. Well, maybe I should get to this step, Yeah, this is another awkward experience that I had with Outreach. They didn't really like it. So I was not able to add a prospect to the sequence, because in the Outreach account I was using, mailbox was not connected to, or whatever, it was not enabled for sending and things like this. And I think that this is bollocks, because first of all, you can use sequences as a sequence of tasks, as a sequence of calls, as a sequence of LinkedIn tasks, whatever, yeah? So even though my mailbox, or rather the mailbox of this person, was not enabled for sending, there were other things that I could do with these prospects in the sequence. And then again, there is a possibility to share the sequences. So maybe I'm just making a sequence ready for my colleague that is going to take over it. So this was just a very bad experience, I think. Another one that I really liked, and I have been actually voicing it before I have seen it here, it's to be able to see the efficiency of a step. Yeah, so to be able to see a breakdown of open clicks and replies per each step. So our users can see, so step 3 is when most people actually reply, or step 3 is when they actually open the damn email. Yeah, so this is really cool, and also because it's different. Let's say it's different sometimes types, so you can see how people engage with different types of steps. So I think this breakdown would be very cool. And also I was checking their calls reporting, and here they have like in the reports, like calls connected, no answer, and not logged. Well, it's really lacking something like negative response, not interested. Like you want to know that, for instance, if you made 100 calls and I don't know, 50% of people, 50 people said that they are not interested, they don't want to cooperate, or they're not interested in your product. So you have to know that, okay, these 50 people are just not to be contacted anymore. And here it's unclear. You can't really perceive this information from this report. Yeah, and the worst part of Outreach for me were settings. Was so utterly confusing, difficult to grasp, so many bars, so many things, and like going halfway through settings, I was like, do I actually need it? Like, and well, I did go through it, but yeah, this is very particular, and it's not easy. It's not easy to actually work with their settings at all. And they don't have any explanation bars or whatever. So I'm reading this. So when non-primary prospects reply, do what? And then I ask myself, who are non-primary prospects? Who are primary prospects? How do I set primary prospects or non-primary prospects? So all this information is just, yeah, of course, if I would go and look in the support article, I would find it probably. But the fact that here there is no explanation on how to do it, and no hint, no pop-up, no nothing, and this is really unintuitive. And I was playing with the prospects, and I never saw like an action, to make them primary. So I have no idea what this is about and how to use it. And another thing that I was completely, like, they lost me on, is that they have like an Outreach Everywhere extension, which I installed. Well, I didn't have much to say about it. And here they have Salesforce setting, email decorating and phone decorating. I was doing like this research in the evening, and I was like, okay, am I reading this correctly? Am I too tired? Should I go to bed now? What does it mean, phone decorating? This completely, intuitively, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, happens, but then there is absolutely no explanation, nothing that would clarify what decorating means and why would I need it. Another thing that I did like about their reporting is that they have the field prospects added, and I would also add to the report moved to the sequence. Why? So the activity of sales managers or SDRs is not only outreach itself, but also like preparing outreach. And there are a lot of people who don't actually use the platform daily. They send 1,000 leads in a sequence, they automate everything, they set everything up, and then they just don't open it for a month, or maybe a month is too much, let's say for a week, and then they see the replies, and that's how they interact with it. And this field is important to see if the sequence actually already exhausts all the prospects and you need more prospects added. You need more prospects moved to the sequence, so actually the sequence can continue running and people are not just staying finished there without anything to do. So this is the case where I think it's very cool to see not only prospects contacted or whatever, but also prospects added to the system and moved to the sequence. What also I found cool is that you can actually make a pop-up, push-up notifications, desktop notifications for outreach. I think this could be a good idea for us as well. In the beginning of this video, I said that you have way more chance of actually closing a deal if you respond quickly to somebody's interest. And here I think it's also one of those things that help you to respond to somebody's interest quicker. And also it's a good technique to get people use reply more and interact with reply more. So I think this is also an interesting things to discuss. And one more thing that I liked is the ability to set how many emails you want to send to one domain per day. This is also, I think, important when you're going to work with big clients that send a lot of emails and they don't want to overwhelm, they don't want to get red flagged for spam. So in terms of deliverability and all, I think this is also a good idea to set the maximum emails per domain per day. Yeah, and I think this is the last one that I wanted to cover, and that is that we are now using different sources of communication. Well, it's calls, it's SMS, it's WhatsApp, it's LinkedIn and all. So we cannot expect for people to only be able to get opted out status by email, because email now is only one off, yeah? And I think it is important, so we develop a way people can get opted out status also from a call, also from, for instance, rejecting a LinkedIn request, which I know is a difficult thing to do, but I think it's important to be able to provide this opt-out option and information for our users, that people opted out not just by email, by also other ways of communicating. And that is it. I know that Outreach is a very robust and big and somewhat confusing platform, so I'm sure I haven't covered everything, but I have covered what caused me either pleasant or unpleasant emotions and experiences, and I hope that was insightful and interesting.